Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic, that is enumerating or accessing object-specific properties using has-on property method. Okay. So what I'm going to say here is I'm going to enumerate the properties of an object. Okay. Using has-on. Okay, has own property method. There is a method known as has own property method, using which, okay, this particular method I already covered here, guys. Okay, if you remember, okay, in one of the previous sessions, using has own property method in JavaScript I already covered. But here what I'm saying is I'm going to demonstrate how to access the properties of an object using has own, okay, property method, where this method will help us in ignoring the, okay, this method will help us in ignoring the inherited properties from another object. For example, this particular object from where we are enumerating the properties, this particular object will have its own properties, and also this particular object may have inherited some properties from another object. So in that case, I want to access the properties of only this particular object by ignoring the inherited properties. Then I have to use has on property method. Okay, so let me demonstrate so that it will be clear for you. For that, I'll just launch Visual Studio Code. And here in this Visual Studio Code, I'm going to create a new thing. I'll say has on.js. I'll say already is there, actually has on prop, okay, .js. I'll say just here, let me create an object first. Guys. Let user is equal to, like this, let me create an object. Here I'll say name colon, I'll give my name. Okay, so using this particular object, I'm going to create another object. Okay, by using the I'm going to create a replica of this particular object by using object dot create method. Okay, and here I'll pass user here. Okay, I already covered how to use object.create in one of the previous session. Okay, so if you have not watched, just go there, watch, and come back here. Okay, so object.create user, and this will create a new user using an existing sorry, this will create a new object using an existing object by creating a replica of an existing object. Okay, so here I'll simply say let person is equal to, so when I say let person, this person object will be created, and this person object is a replica of the user object, where this name property from the user object has been inherited inside this person object. Okay, in this person object, the name property has been inherited. Now to this person object, I will add one more property, object specific property for the person, that is, I'll just give experience. Okay, person dot experience is equal to 19 if I give. So this property belongs to the person, but name property is not directly belonging to the person. It is actually getting inherited from the user object to the person object. But person dot experience belongs to the person object, right? Now I'll give person dot location is equal to, I'll just give the location as Hyderabad. Okay, like this. These two properties are specific to the person object, whereas name property also belong to the person, but it is not directly specific to this. It is actually inherited from the user object to the person object. Now, if I use for in loop like this, for let key in, let key in person, if I directly write like this, let key in person, and here I'll write console.log, if I write key comma person of key, if I write like this, what will be printed? All these three properties will be printed. Name property with its value, experience property with its value, location with its value, like Hyderabad, everything will be printed. Okay, let's run this code and see what is happening. Let's go to the terminal, new terminal, and here write down node space has own prop dot js, enter. You see, experience came, location came, and also name also came. The inherited property is also coming when I am enumerating or accessing using the for in loop, if I'm trying to access all the properties of this person, along with the person object specific properties, I also got enumerated, that is inherited name property also. But what if I want only the person specific properties? I don't want to get this inherited property of the user into the person. Okay. If I don't want to get, here I'll write a condition. If, okay, if I'll write this code, guys. Okay. I'll be writing this code that is has own property. Okay. If person dot has, what is that, guys? Okay. If uh, there is a way, just give me a second, guys. I'll just show you how you have to do this. Let me open this notes for reference and then I'll show you how to use that here in this case of example. Here, object. Object is nothing but the person, right? If person, the same thing, whatever I have written. Dot has own property. Okay. If person dot has own property, then print this. Otherwise, don't. Okay. So what happens here is, if person dot has own property means for each and every key. Okay. If person dot has own property, so, and then here I have to mention the key. Okay. Here I have to mention the key. Person dot has own property of key. If this key is specific to the person or not, based on that some condition will be checked, and if it is true, then only the key and person will be printed. So in this case, if I go to this terminal and run it again, if I clear this and run it again, this time you'll get only two properties, which belong to the person object, not the property which is inherited from the user object to the person object. Okay, person specific properties are only coming here. Name property is not coming. Okay, guys, clear? Enumerating object specific properties using has on property method. So that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye. Hello all. Welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic, that is cloning objects in JavaScript. So what is that? Cloning objects. The topic is cloning objects. Cloning objects in JavaScript. There are multiple ways of cloning the objects, but before that you need to understand one thing. Earlier, we have used something known as object.create, right? If you remember in one of the previous sessions I covered here, somewhere here, object.create. So will object.create will clone? The answer is no. It's going to create a replica, okay? Using the properties in an existing object, a new object will be created as a replica of an existing object, okay? There the properties will be inherited. Coming to the object.create, okay, which I covered in one of the previous sessions here, the existing object properties will be replicated in the newly created object. They are not cloned. Okay, they are replicated. Existing object properties are replicated in newly created objects with the help of this. Okay, so here properties from an existing object, properties from existing objects are not cloned. Instead, they are inherited into the newly created object. That means the newly created object with the help of this object.create doesn't own these inherited properties. They are owned by the existing object. But the newly created object is just a replica. It's like a prototype only. Okay. Whose properties which are replicated from existing object are just inherited. They are not owned by the new object. But in case of cloning object, if you clone an existing object, the properties of an existing object will be owned by the newly created objects also. Okay. If you are cloning any object, the properties of the existing object are not just inherited or replicated into the newly created object. Instead, okay, they are cloned. Means the newly created object will have the same properties as its own object, is its own properties. Okay, the properties of the existing object and the properties of the cloned object has its own properties in this case of cloning. But here it doesn't have, newly created object doesn't have its own properties, okay? Those properties which came as a replica from the existing object are not owned by the newly created object. That's what you need to understand. But how to clone objects is a question, right? To clone the objects, there are multiple ways. First way is by using some logic, okay? By using some JavaScript logic, I'll demonstrate that. Here, I'll say clone hyphen object.js, I'll say, and here let me create an object first of all, which I want to clone. The properties I want to clone, name colon, just give, I don't want to read, then comma, then experience colon, I'll give 19, comma, I'll give some function, greet user function, and say function here. Just write here console.log. I'll just say welcome. Just say welcome here. Okay. Just say welcome here. Then next, now I want to create a clone of this existing object into a newly created object. Okay. How to clone that? For that, let me create a object first of all. Let person. Okay. For now, there are no properties, but I want to clone this object into this newly created object. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to do that with the help of a loop. Okay. For let key in user, which is an existing object. I'm going to iterate the keys in the existing object. Here I'm going to write let key in user. For let key in user, I need to write something like this. Okay. Newly created object is person. Person of key is equal to user of key. Person of key means the person of key is equal to user of key. I'll be writing like this. Okay. So with this way, what should happen? Okay. Person of key is equal to user dot key. So with this way, the properties of this should be cloned into the newly created. So let me run this and see what is happening. Let me print the person here. Go here and click on new terminal and just write down node space clone hyphen object dot js. You see, exactly cloned as it is. It's gone. Okay, as it is, it is cloned. Name Arun Motor experience 19. Greet user function also came. So this is how using the logic we can clone an existing object into a newly created object. Here, these properties which are cloned into the person, okay, are its own, okay? This person's its own properties, not the inherited properties, unlike object.create, okay? Now, this is one way, guys, this is one way, and there are other ways, okay? So I'll just create one more thing, clone hyphen object hyphen 2.js. I'll say here also let user is equal to, let me create an object again. What was that? Name is name colon. I'll just give the same thing. Arun Motori, comma, experience colon 19, comma, then what was the other one, guys? Okay, greet user function or method. You can say inside the object, we can generally call the functions as methods. Okay, here I'll say welcome. Now, instead of writing the logic, is there any way to clone this particular object into a newly created object? Can I clone this existing object into a newly created object? For that, let person is equal to, if I write like this, okay? If I write like this, there is a way, guys. Instead of writing like this, what I can do here is let object dot, there are some ways. There are some ways, guys. The first way is object dot assign. Assign method is there, okay? There is a method known as assign method. Here in the assign method, I have to pass, okay, the first one, comma, okay? That is, this person is kind of empty, first of all, okay? Now into this, I want to assign this user, okay? User, you write here. That's it. Simple. Now, using this assign method, by passing these two arguments where initially the person doesn't have any properties and user is a existing object that I want to create a clone of, okay? So person clone will be created, and if I print this, okay, instead of writing the for in loop logic, right, you can do like this. If I print this person, if I get the same output, then we are good to go. Okay, go here, go to terminal, new terminal, and just run this code and see whether it is happening or not. Node space clone hyphen object hyphen 2.js. You see, it got perfectly cloned. This way also, using assign method also, we can clone. And there's one more thing, guys. There's a possibility that this person also already has some, okay, this person already has some, if you want to have the person already has a property, okay, inside this curly braces, you can write the property like, for example, location colon Hyderabad, you write down, okay. That means this Hyderabad property is already there. This Hyderabad property is already there inside this person. Along with this location property, along with this location Hyderabad property, I would like to add extra properties while I'm cloning this user. Okay, it's not an exact clone, right? Along with this user properties getting cloned into the person has its own property. Okay, in that case, we can write like this. So if I run this, all these four properties, location and other three remaining properties also will be there. Total four properties should come this time. Okay. Just write node space clone hyphen object hyphen 2.js. Four properties should come. Location, name, experience, and greet user should come here. Okay. Location, name, experience, and greet user should come as a four properties. Already this person has a one property. Along with that, three more properties came. Right? Now, there is one more way also, guys. Okay. There is one more way also. What is that way? I'll just show you. What is that third way? What is the other way? I'll show you. Okay. There is an operator, guys. There is an operator. Using that operator also, we can clone it. Okay. We can clone. Apart from using the assign method, we can also use this spread. Okay. There is an operator known as spread operator. Okay. What is this operator? The spread operator in JavaScript is represented with three dots. Using these three dots also we can clone. How to clone with the help of this? Let me show you. I'll create one more thing. Clone hyphen object hyphen 3.js. I'll say here, let me create that, or let me copy this. Otherwise, let me copy this object here. Okay. Let me copy this object here, and so that the time will be saved. Let person is equal to, okay, empty, or you don't have to worry about the person here. So what you have to do here is, what I have to do here, guys, have to clone it, right? So with the help of spread operator, I can clone it. Okay. Using the spread operator, I can clone it. It's very simple, guys. I don't have to use any method or object or whatever it is. Just provide this empty curly braces. Inside that, provide three dots followed by the property name, sorry, object name, that is user. That's it. Simple. This is the simplest form of cloning the object in JavaScript. Okay. Just provide the curly braces and say dot 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 user. Automatically, the properties in the user will be cloned into the person. Okay. So here, if I say console.log and if I print the person, I should be getting the same output. Let's see whether we are getting the same output or not. I'll just write here node space, clone space, object space, 3.js. Okay. Are they cloned? Yes. The properties are perfectly cloned into the, okay, this object is cloned properly by the newly created object. Okay, these are the multiple ways of cloning the objects in JavaScript, guys. For reference, you can use this, guys. A lot of information is there here. Okay, these notes you can use as a reference. Okay, let me open this notes and see what are the multiple ways of cloning the objects in JavaScript. There are many other ways also, but these are the major ones that you have to understand. Using spread operator, using assign method. Just now I told you, right? Other things are also there, guys. I'm not going that deep now. Okay, whatever I'm covering is spread operator, assign, and uh, using some logic, right? Using some logic also, I did that, right? What was the logic? Using the for in loop. Using the for in loop also, we can clone. Is there anything mentioned about the for in loop? How to clone with help of for in loop? Is the one cloning objects in JavaScript? Is this the one? Yeah. I think this is the one, guys. Okay, somehow it got misplaced or something. Let's see. Cloning an object in JavaScript. Let me see whether this is the notes. Okay. Just give me a second. Just go here. So spread operator using assign method, and the other way is by using the logic. Okay. So we can, the simplest way is by using the spread operator. Spread operator, that is three dots, is the simplest way out of all. Okay. So you see, using for in loop also we can do that. Okay. Fine. Then yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. We are done with this session where I have showed you how to clone objects in JavaScript. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello all. Welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic, that is using splice method with arrays in JavaScript. So what is the topic name? Using splice method. Okay, there is a method known as splice method. Using splice method with arrays. Okay, with what item in JavaScript you are using the splice method with arrays. In which language? JavaScript language. This is the topic for this session. Okay. How to use a splice method and for what purpose you have to use a splice method with arrays in JavaScript. I'm going to cover in this session. So there are mainly three things that splice method when used with arrays can do it in JavaScript language. Okay. The first thing is it can remove the elements from an array. Okay. Remove the elements from an array from the desired location. Okay. For example, if the array has 10 elements, if you want to remove from, fourth, fifth, sixth elements from that array, you can use a splice method. Apart from that, you can insert the elements wherever you want in the array, not just in the beginning or at the end. At any position in the array, you can insert the elements into an array at any position. Okay. The third thing here is replacing the existing elements in array with other elements, This also we can do with the help of splice method. Okay, so let me demonstrate this, practically how to use a splice method with arrays to do all this stuff like removing the elements from wherever the position you want from an array and insert the elements into wherever the position in an array. Okay, replacing the existing elements from wherever the position array with other elements. Okay, all these operations, how the splice method can do. Let me show you practically. For that, let me launch the Visual Studio Code and create a new JavaScript file. I'll just name this file as splice-demo.js, and here let me create an array first. Let let a is equal to or ar is equal to, and here I'll give the elements. Okay, 957 8, let's say 8 2 1 4, like that. I gave some elements. Okay, 9578214 elements. Okay, I gave. Now in this kind of situation, if I clear this. Okay, so in this kind of situation, if I say console.log, if I write here and print this array, what will happen? All the elements of the array will be printed. So here I'll say node splice-demo.js. If I say all the elements of the array will be printed, that is 9578214, all the elements of the array got printed. Okay. Next thing here is I want to use a splice method, that is ar.splice. Okay. And here I'll give the circular brackets because it is a method. So I'm calling this splice method, and while calling this splice method, what I will do here is I want to do the first operation, that is remove the elements from an array. I just want to remove the elements from an array at the desired position. Okay. So I'll give 2 here. 2 means what? Inside this splice method, the first argument 2 I am giving while calling this splice method, predefined method of the JavaScript. 2 means index 2. Starting from the index 2, 0, 1, 2. That is starting from 7. Okay, starting from 7, I want to delete 3 elements or remove 3 elements from this array. That means starting from the index 2, 0, 1, 2, that is from 7th element. Okay, 7 element onwards, this is the index 2, right? How many elements I want to remove from this array? 3 elements, 1, 2, 3. That means 7, 8, 2 should be removed from this array. So now, initially before removing these 3 elements from the array from the index 2, when I printed the array, all the elements of the array got printed. Now, if I print the same array, what will happen? Let's see. Now, if I print the same array, let's see how many elements will be left. These 3 elements should not be there. 7, 8, 2 should not be there. Remaining elements 9, 5, 1, 4 should be there. Okay. You see, 9, 5, 1, 4 left out. Okay. Originally, the array contains all these elements, but after using the splice method, we were able to successfully remove 3 elements from the array starting from the index 2 position. Okay. So this is how we can remove the elements from the array. Okay, using the splice method from wherever the position of the element you want to remove. Okay, then next is inserting the elements into an array. Okay, the next thing here is inserting the elements into the array. How to insert the elements into the array? For that, let me create one more JavaScript file and just say splice demo-2.js. And here, let me create the array again. I can create the same array if I want. Okay, I'll copy paste this and create the same array here. Okay, and now I'll print the original array. First of all, I'll print the original array to show you how exactly it will look like before doing any operation with the help of splice method. And here I'll simply say node space splice hyphen demo hyphen 2 dot JSFSI, and you see 9578214. All the elements of the array got printed. Now I'm going to use a splice method. Okay. To do what, guys? What is the next thing that I want to insert the elements into an array? I want to use a To insert the elements into an array, I want to use a splice method, I told you, right? So how to insert the elements into an array by using the splice method? I'm going to show you splice method. Okay, where I want to insert, I have to specify the index. From which index onwards I need to insert the elements. Okay, let's say I want to insert the elements starting from the index 2, which second thing here is after giving 2, here you have to give the delete count as a second argument, but you don't want to delete anything right now. Okay, right now you don't want to delete anything. So what I want to do here is I want to, I don't want to delete. So I'll put 0 here. That means 0 element should be deleted after from index 2. That means index 2 means 0, 1, 2. From this element onwards, how many elements should be deleted or removed from this array? 0 elements. So no elements will be deleted. But if you want to add or insert elements starting from the index 2 without deleting or removing any elements from this array, then I have to give the elements, right? I just have to give the elements. So what are the elements? I would like to insert 3 here. Okay, 3 comma 5. Okay, you can give any number of items here. Okay, separated by comma 3 comma 5 comma something something something, you can give, not a problem. Let's say I want to insert 3 comma 5 comma 6, right? 6 also I want to insert, and also I want to insert 10 also, let's say. Okay, so starting from the index 2, 0 elements should be deleted, and at the index 2 we have to insert these elements. So currently at the index 2 7 is there, but 7 will go to another index, that is at this index position this 3 5 6 10 elements will be added, that is 9 5 3 5 6 10, then 7 8 2 1 4 elements so will be there. Okay, so before 7 8 2 1 4, 3 5 6 10 will be inserted here. Okay, after 9 5 3 5 6 10 will be inserted, 0 elements will be removed, okay, from the array. Now let's run this to see what is happening. I need to print it out, right? I forgot to print it out. Okay, so I thought I was printing that, but I didn't print it out. So let me create this and let me run this again to see what is happening. You see, the original array is like this: 9578214, 9578214. After inserting the elements into the array at the index 2 without removing any elements from the index 2. So you see, after 9501, at the second index onwards, this 4 elements got added. This 3, 5, 6, 10 got added. After that, remaining elements came. Then 78214 came here. Okay. So hope guys how to insert the elements into the array at the required index position. Okay. Anywhere in the array, whether it is in middle or starting or ending, is possible with the help of the splice method. Okay. So hope guys, this is also done. Third thing is replacing the existing elements in array with other elements. How to replace the existing elements in the array with other elements. Okay, how to replace the existing elements in the array with other elements? It's also simple. Same time you will to replace the elements, what you have to do, guys, you have to delete at the same time, insert at the same time. Okay, that's what is the funda, right? That's what is the funda we have to follow. So let me show you how to do that. Splice hyphen. Okay, you see, separately removing, separately inserting. Okay, we have done so far using the splice method, where we have removed the elements from the required index from the array and we have inserted required number of elements from the required index of the array. Now I want to remove and insert, so that what will happen? Remove and insert means replace. That is nothing but replacing, right? So I'm going to demonstrate that. Okay, at the same time I'm going to remove, at the same time I'm going to insert, so replacing will happen. Simple. So we also can achieve replacing here. I'll just create a new JavaScript file, splice demo 3, and let me do one thing. Let me copy this and add this, and we'll do one thing. I would like to uh, replace this 78 with, okay, I would like to replace this 782 with 3 5 6. Okay, in place of 782 I want to put 3 5 6. Okay, new elements are. So before replacing I would like to print it, guys. Before replacing I would like to print it and see what is happening. Okay, so let me go here and run this code. Before replacing the original array, I would like to print node space splice hyphen demo hyphen 3.js. And if I run this, you see all the elements of this array got printed: 9578 214. Okay, now the next thing here is I would like to use ar.splice, and here I would like to put a semicolon here and then say I would like to replace this 782, right? But what is the index of this first element of this replacing part? 7 is 0 1 2. Index 2 you give here. And how many elements are there that you have to remove here? 3 elements. At that, after removing these 3 elements, I want to insert fresh, brand new 3 elements in place of the 7A2 that they are nothing but I would like to add, let's say, I would like to add 5, 6, 5, 6, let's say 3. Okay, 5, 6, 3 or whatever it is. I would like to add. Okay, 5, 6, 3 I would like to add in place of 7, 8, 2. So 9, 5, 5, 6, 3, 1, 4 should be there. Okay, so let's see whether that is happening or not. Let me print also after doing this replacing operation by removing and inserting at the same time. Okay, by using this logic, we are removing and inserting at the same time. So what is happening? Node space splice hyphen demo hyphen 3 dot js. Run this. You see 9 5. Okay, first 9 5 are there. Then in place of 7 8 2. In place of 782, what came? 563 came, as we thought. 563 came, right? In place of 782, 563 came, then 14 came, then 14 came. That means we are able to successfully replace the elements in the array at whatever the position you want in the array. That is all possible with the help of splice method in arrays with unused. This is all possible by because of the splice method by using the splice method with arrays in JavaScript. So we also have some notes for reference, guys. If I'm missing anything, let me just cross check once and see whether I've explained everything for you or not. If not, let me look through these notes and and cover if something is not covered for you. Okay, what is splice? Okay, so removing existing, adding new elements, or both at the same time means replacing. Okay, it's not about replacing. Sometimes you can do the both operations at the same time. Okay, so with the help of this both operation, we can also perform replacing operation also. The syntax of the splice method is like this. That is array name dot splice starting index. Then how many elements you want to delete. If you don't want to delete anything, put 0. If you want to delete something, put the number of elements that you want to delete, and these are the elements that you want to insert into the array from this index. Okay, starting from this index. And yeah. So first one is not optional. The other two arguments are optional. Okay, these two are optionals, guys. Okay, these two are optional. Okay, so what you want to provide? Optional in the sense delete count you can put 0 if you don't want to delete anything. That's why it's optional. And if you don't provide any of these items, means no elements will be inserted. Okay, so because of that, removing elements will be possible, adding elements will be possible, replacing elements in the array will be possible. Okay, and many other stuff you can do, guys. Okay, these are all additional stuff. You don't have to worry too much. If you want to remove from the end, you can also do like this. You can give a negative value -2. Remove the last remove the okay remove one element from second. Here how many elements you want to remove? Only one element. Okay, which index? -2. But index should be in positive, right? 0 1 2 3 4. But here -2 means this is a way of representing last but two element. Sorry, from the last which element? Okay, this is the last element. This is -1 -2 like that. Okay, so here 4 will be removed. Okay, 4 will be removed. If you try this, it will remove the 4. Only one element will be removed because from last side -1 -2 index, and at this index you have to remove how many elements? One element. So 4 will be removed and remaining will be 1 2 3 5 will be remaining in this array. Okay, like that also you can do remove from the end also, guys, if you want. Many things will be there, guys. Many things will be there, but whatever I need to cover, I have already covered, guys. So if you really want to remove some elements from the end of the array, okay, for example, if I give remove -3, okay, remove two elements from -3 means what? What is the size? You can actually go from -1, -2, -3. From here onwards, how many elements need to be removed? 2 and 8 need to be removed. 2 and 8 need to be removed. That is 9, 5, 7, 1, 4 will be remaining. Okay. If I do that, so here let me comment this and let me showcase otherwise. Okay. So I'll just say splice, and here I'll say -3. Okay, -3 index means -1, -2, -3. Okay, from the end, third element. Okay, from the end, third element. How many elements I want to remove? Two elements I want to remove. Two elements I want to remove. That means -1, -2, -3. So 2 and 8 will be removed. So 9, 5, 7, 1, 4 should be left out. Okay, let's run this. I commented this line. So 9, 5, 7, 1, 4. 8 2 should be removed. Okay, 8 2 should be removed by using this. Okay. So let me run this node space splice hyphen demo -3.js. If I run, you see 957. Okay, there is something happened here. I just mentioned -3. Okay, what it has removed, guys? I thought it will remove something, but it removed something. Okay, 2 and 1 got removed, right? 2 and 1 got removed. So that means it's not working as it is told here, right? It's not working as it is mentioned here. Okay, there is some small difference here. Okay, if I give -2 means it's not remove first element from second last. Okay, so what is the size of the array? The size of the array is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, index 3. So the same logic I'll apply here. This is -3. What is the size of the array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 minus 3 is 7 minus 3 is how much? 4. Index 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. From here, how many elements need to be removed? Two elements. So here 2 and 1 got removed. Okay, I thought it will be removing this direction, but it is removing this direction, guys. That's the reason. Otherwise it's correct only. -3, 0, 1, sorry, -1, -2, -3. From this, I need to remove two elements. 2 and 1 got removed. Okay. I thought it will be removing like this, but it has removed like this. That's okay. Small mistake, confusion will happen. So, but still it is fine. Okay. -1, -2, -3. From here, how many elements? Two elements. That is 2 and 1 got removed. Okay. That's the reason here 2 and 1 are not there. Okay. That's how it is working. So fine, guys. Anyhow, that's all about the splice method, how to use splice method with arrays in JavaScript. Good that we have tried the last example also so that we got more clarity. Otherwise, we'd have some confusion. Fine, anyhow. So with this, we are done with the splice method with arrays in JavaScript. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.